we have to express the z square in this particular format where I need to find my r value and my theta value. You can see that the theta is bounded by 180 degree to negative 180, where the negative 180 is not included. So how do I quickly check my answer? So in order to do this, you can just use your calculator. You set the calculator mode in complex number. So I think you can see it here. I have CMPLX. How do you enable that? Go to mode and press button number 2. So it's activated. Now you recall your question. It's negative 3 plus I. So where is this I button? You just have to look for the E and G here. Above the E and G, you have the I. So I press that and then I square it. So it will give me the complex number. But now I need the R and the theta format. So what do? You press shift and then you click 2. Above the 2, you will see the complex button. Okay. So you press the 2. You have 4 options now. And you select the third one over here where it tells you the R and the angle theta. So when I press, what do I see? I will get my R value as 4 and my angle is negative 60 degree. You can convert that to radian. So let's see how to do the working for this. So let's write the answer first. You know that the R value is 4 and your angle is negative 60 degree, which is negative pi over 3. So your final answer is 4e negative I pi over 3. So how do we reach to this? By writing the method. Okay, step 1. I can first find the R value for my Z, which is this one here. So what is the X component? Negative 3. And what is the Y component? 1. Then you have the I. So you take the X component, you square it. You take the Y component, which is the 1, and you square it. That will give you, of course, square root. Same like the Pythagoras theorem. If you can't imagine what it is actually, you just try to draw your Argand diagram. So this is the real part, imaginary part. My X component is negative 3, my Y component is 1. So it's here. So we are finding for the length of this. Then the next step, I want to find what is the angle that I'm producing here. So if I want to find the angle, I know this opposite part. First, I'm going to find this angle. Then I will do pi minus the answer. So how do I find this? This is my opposite part, which is 1. And this is my adjacent part. So I will use tangent inverse 1 over 3. Once I'm done with this, I will do pi minus. That will give you the theta. So let's see what do I get when I press this in the calculator. So I'm getting 150 degree, which is 5 over 6 pi. So I can write my Z as 2ei pi over 6 pi. But what does the question ask? The question is asking for Z square. So you take this whole expression here and you just have to square it. So how do? This is just an index law. What is 2 to the power of 2? You will get the 4. Can you see that our answer 4 here matches with what we are getting now? And the next one, ei 5 over 3 pi. This is where you have to be slightly careful. Why? The highest value for your theta is only 180 degree. Can you see it's exceeding that? So you have to do the necessary adjustment, and it is always either a plus 2 pi or minus 2 pi. So in order to make sure that the theta is bounded by negative pi to pi, you have to do minus 2 pi now. That will lead us to the very final answer for ei negative pi over 6. So you can rearrange, pi over 3, my bad, in order to match here. Okay, I hope you understand. Now let's see the second part. I have to now find the omega, the W, or which we call it as omega, such that the Z squared W is real. What is the meaning of this real? What is real complex number? Maybe it's something like 2 plus 0i or x plus 0i, where the Y component is missing. So what happens if the Y component is missing? Okay, that's for you to think for a while. Now they are telling the length of these two complex number, Z squared divided by omega, is actually equal to 12. I have to find the two possible value of omega where my answer needs to be also in the Euler form or the exponential format. I need to find the length and I need to find the angle. And the same condition apply for my alpha and the R as part A. So how do you do? There is complex way of doing it and there is also easy way of doing it. First, let's look at the easy way. So in order to understand the easy way, you must first understand what is real. Real means only the x part is in existence. So let's try to draw complex number where there is only real part. So what kind of real part can you get? Either you can get a positive one. Let's say I am getting 2 plus 0i. Can you see I will be just plotting it here? And what is the angle you are forming here? Isn't it 0 degree? Right? Let's say if my complex number is actually negative 2 plus 0i. So it is going to be on the negative part. If it is on the negative part, what will be my angle? It's going to be 180. So I know if I find the argument of z squared w, it means I'm finding the angle of this. It's either going to give me 0 radian or it could give me pi radian. There is only two possibility, and by expanding this I can write it as argument z squared plus argument of w, which is 0. Similarly to the other side you can try. Now from here I know the argument of z squared. What is the angle that you are getting? Isn't it negative pi over 3 plus argument of w equal to 0. So the first option for my argument w is pi over 3. Similarly, if you solve this side, you will end up getting what is that? Pi plus pi over 3, which will give me 4 pi over 3. And you have to ask yourself, can you take a value which is greater than pi? No. So what is the necessary adjustment you will do? You will minus with 2 pi. Okay, now let's write out our final answer. So the first one is definitely pi over 3. The next one is negative 2 over 3 pi. Okay, I'm done with the angle. Now I need to find the length of complex number omega. So how do I do that? I have to use the second information given. So you can open up your modulus this way, and from here you know the modulus of this complex number z squared. Can you see z squared? It's actually 4. So modulus of w is now 4 over 12, which is 1 over 3. So what is the possible value of my omega? The first one is 1 over 3 e I pi over 3. And the second one is 1 over 3 e negative I 2 over 3 pi. Okay, this is easier version. Let's say you cannot think of these options during the exam. Then what can you do? You can actually let the omega to be, let's say, x plus yi. Since you already know what is z squared from your calculator shortcut. Okay, what was our calculator shortcut? Let me just quickly do it. Negative 3 plus I squared. So it gave us 2 minus 2 3i. So what you're going to do, you're going to do z squared omega now. So 2 minus 2 3i and then x plus yi. So expand this. It will give me 2x. I'm writing the real parts first, plus 2 3y. This is my real component. Okay, how do I get the real component? You take this part, multiply with this. The first 2 and then these 2 here. And if you do the remaining parts, you will end up with your imaginary. What is the imaginary? 2y and then minus 2 3. I, correct? Now, according to the question, they are clearly telling me only the real part exists. The imaginary part is not existing because they are saying there is only real. Can you see that? So, I know that this is definitely equal to 0. So, if I solve, can you see I am getting y equal to 3? Or did I make any mistake? Yes. Yeah, there is an x here. So, y is equal to 3x. You keep this first. And then we have to try to figure out how to solve them simultaneously. I need one more equation in order to solve. And how do I do that? Here. So, you know that the W was actually x plus yi just now. You are the one who let it to be that. So you just expand. Find the length, x squared plus y squared. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing this square root of x squared plus y squared. It's equal to 1 over 3. So I'm going to get 1 over 9. So I will take this and I will substitute inside here, which will give me x squared plus 3x squared equal to 1 over 9, 4x squared equal to 1 over 9, x squared is equal to 1 over 36, and I will get x as plus minus 1 over 6. Now, since the x is evident, you can actually find your y value. What is your y value? It is going to be plus minus 3 over 6, right? So what is my omega now? It is 1 over 6 plus 3 over 6i and the minus of that. Can you see what I am doing? So what you can do, you can use your calculator again in order to find the r value and theta value, and you should be getting exactly similar to this value here. See, if you get confused during the exam, you can actually do the longer way, but you're just going to waste your time. So you have to plan wisely.